All right, buckle up because today we're diving into a real ancient smackdown. Persia versus Egypt.
Oh yeah, this one's a classic.
The Battle of Pelusium. It's 525 BC. We're in the Nile Delta. And this is a battle that completely changed history.
No kidding. Huge turning point.
So to really get into this, we're going to our main man, Herodotus.
The OG historian.
Exactly. He's like the ancient world's best storyteller. He gives us all the juicy details we need.
We've also got some backup from Ctesias and Polyanius.
Oh yeah, they'll help fill in some gaps. So are you ready to uncover all the drama, the crazy tactics?
And the impact of all this on Egypt. Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay, so first things first. Why was Cambyses, the ruler of Persia, so obsessed with conquering Egypt?
Well, Herodotus gives us this almost ridiculous backstory.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a soap opera. A disgruntled doctor, a case of mistaken identity, and a double-crossing advisor.
Whoa. Okay, slow down, slow down.
Right, sorry. So it all starts with Cambyses asking the Egyptian pharaoh, Amasis, for his best physician.
Seems harmless enough.
Right. But this doctor, he's got a grudge against the pharaoh. He sees this as a chance for revenge.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so he tells Cambyses that if he really wants to solidify his power, he should marry Amasis's daughter.
So basically, this doctor, he's a political pawn, and he sets off this whole chain of events that leads to war. That's wild.
It really is. These personal issues can blow up on a massive scale.
No kidding. Okay, so Cambyses hears this, and he's already ambitious, wants to expand his empire.
So he jumps at the chance, sends a marriage proposal to Amasis.
And Amasis is like, oh.
Exactly. He's stuck. Saying no to the most powerful guy in the world, not a good idea.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't want to give up his daughter.
So what's he do?
He gets sneaky.
Yeah.
He sends Nitedis, the daughter of a pharaoh he overthrew, hoping Cambyses won't notice the swap.
Wow, that is a high-stakes gamble.
You bet it is.
I'm guessing Cambyses figured it out, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Ew.
He's furious, feels totally insulted. And you know what? He uses it as his excuse to invade.
So this little personal offense basically triggers a whole invasion.
Yeah, it shows you how personal grudges can, actually shape history.
Crazy. But wait, there's another character in this whole drama, right?
Whoa, you mean Phases?
Yeah, Phases.
Phanes of Halicarnassus?
Right. He was a trusted advisor to Amasis.
But they have a falling out for reasons we don't really know.
A mystery for the ages.
I know. So Phanes, he does a runner, flees Egypt, defects to the Persians.
Talk about a plot twist.
He gives Cambyses all this juicy intel on Egypt's defenses.
So he basically hands Cambyses the keys to the kingdom.
Pretty much. It's amazing how one person's betrayal can change the fate of entire nations.
It really is. But Cambyses, he isn't just relying on Phanes, right? He's got to be prepared.
Oh, absolutely. He makes sure he's got safe passage through Arabia, even gets troops from them.
Wow.
Only Gaza puts up a fight and they get crushed. Meanwhile, Amasis dies.
Oh, man.
And his son, Psamtik III, is left to deal with this impending Persian invasion.
Rough situation to inherit. Talk about bad timing.
Right. Psamtik, he tries to buddy up with the Greeks.
They're powerful. Makes sense.
You'd think so, but they side with the Persians.
Oh, no. What does Psamtik do?
Well, remember Phanes, the guy who betrayed Egypt?
Oh, yeah?
Psamtik, he's desperate. So he does something pretty chilling.
What's that?
He sacrifices Phanes' sons, uses their blood in a ritual.
Oh, wow. Trying to appease the gods and rally his troops.
Exactly. It's a reminder of how brutal war can be and the things people do to try and win.
Absolutely. It seems like things are about to boil over. The stage is set for this epic clash.
You got it. And that confrontation, it all goes down at Pelusium.
The battle that will change everything. Back again with our deep dive into Pelusium. Last time, Cambyses and his Persians were ready to strike. Now we're going to see what happens after this huge clash. Spoiler alert. It's not looking good for the Egyptians.
Not good at all. After that defeat, Psamtik and what's left of his army, they head back to Memphis, their last stronghold.
So even with that big win, Cambyses isn't taking any chances.
Not a single one. He lays siege to the city, wants to crush any resistance left.
Makes sense. Got to finish the job.
So Herodotus says that Cambyses, he tries to be diplomatic, at least at first.
Oh, really?
How so? Sends a messenger. Tells the Egyptians to just surrender, avoid more bloodshed, reasonable stuff.
Seems like a good idea.
You'd think, right? But the Egyptians, they're desperate, angry. They do something pretty shocking.
What'd they do? Kill the messenger?
Well, it's worse. They attack the messenger ship, kill everyone.
Oh, wow.
Then they parade the bodies, all dismembered, through the city.
That's intense.
It's brutal, but it shows you how much they hated the Persians, even in defeat.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement, but I bet Cambyses was not happy about that.
Oh, you know it. The siege just gets tougher, and eventually Memphis falls.
And that's it for Egyptian independence.
That's it. Samtik gets captured. It's the start of the 27th dynasty, Persian rule.
Oh, new era for Egypt. So what happens to Samtik?
At first, Cambyses lets him live. Maybe he felt a little bad for the guy.
That's surprisingly merciful.
Yeah, well, it doesn't last. Samtik tries to start a rebellion.
Against the entire Persian Empire. That seems unwise.
It was. It fails, of course. And Samtik, he chooses to end his own life, rather than face the Persians again.
A tragic end to his story. What a tough situation. He inherited a war he couldn't win, lost his kingdom, and then that. It really makes you think about the cost of war, all the loss.
Definitely. But the story doesn't end there. There's Cambyses. How's he doing after the victory?
Yeah, how did all this power affect him?
Well, according to Herodotus, not so great. Cambyses starts acting strange.
Cruel. The classic power corrupt story.
Maybe. Herodotus tells us one story that's pretty controversial.
Let's hear it.
He says Cambyses dug up Amasis' mummy
Huh.
and desecrated it, even burned it.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah, it's a wild story. Some historians think Herodotus might have exaggerated it, though, to make Cambyses look worse.
Right, ancient historians, they had their biases.
Exactly. And the Persians usually respected the cultures they conquered. So burning a mummy, yeah, kind of out of character.
So maybe Cambyses wasn't a total monster. But still, even if we don't believe everything Herodotus says, it's obvious this whole battle changed things forever.
Oh, absolutely. For both Egypt and Persia,
yeah,
it's a good reminder that victory always comes at a price for everyone involved.
Back again for our final look at the Battle of Pelusium. We've seen the lead-up, the battle itself, and the aftermath.
Yeah.
Now let's think big picture. This wasn't just some random event. Right?
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
This changed everything. Persia conquering Egypt, that was huge EE. Shifted the power balance of the whole Mediterranean.
Like a domino effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Egypt was rich, had all those resources, plus its location. Everyone wanted it.
Prime real estate.
You got it.
Yeah.
And now Persia, they're in North Africa. New trade routes open up. They can expand even more.
So it's like Persia leveled up on the world stage. But did they, totally take over Egyptian culture too? Or was there some mixing?
That's the interesting part. Persia, they were tough, but they weren't just about crushing everyone.
Really?
They were pretty tolerant, actually. Of other cultures, I mean.
Huh. So they didn't force everyone to become Persian overnight.
Not exactly. They wanted loyalty. They wanted taxes.
Yeah.
But they let a lot of local stuff continue. Traditions, religions.
So it wasn't a complete wipeout of Egyptian culture?
No. It was more like blending, integration.
Yeah.
And that had some lasting effects.
So a more complex story than just conquer and destroy.
Way more complex. And the exchange went both ways. Persia got exposed to Egypt's amazing history, all their innovations, math, astronomy, the pyramids, of course.
Right.
It's like a cultural fusion, both sides bringing something to the table. You can even see Egyptian stuff in Persian art and architecture centuries later.
So Pelusium wasn't just a military thing, it was a cultural turning point too. This mix of Persia and Egypt, it made something new, makes you think about how history is shaped by more than just battles, right?
Absolutely. It's about those interactions, those exchanges. Pelusium's a great example of that. It shows us how connected things really are, and how these isolated events can have massive ripple effects across history.
And it gets you thinking about power, ambition, unintended consequences. Cambyses maybe had his personal reasons, but what he did, it created a superpower, reshaped the ancient world.
And pushes us to think critically about how we view history, the narratives we tell. Who are the good guys and bad guys here? Was Cambyses really a tyrant or a genius strategist? Things aren't always black and white. Pelusium forces us to look at the gray areas, question our assumptions, and appreciate how complex the past really is.
Well said. So, as we wrap up, what's the main thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think Pelusium, beyond all the drama and intrigue, is a lesson in perspective. We need to zoom out, see the bigger picture, recognize that the choices people made, whether personal or political, they had huge EE consequences.
Yeah.
And those consequences echoed through history. It reminds us that the past isn't just dates and names. It's about real human experiences, triumphs and tragedies. And those stories still matter today.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We've covered a lot today in our deep dive into Pelusium, empires clashing, human drama, political maneuvering. It's all here, and it's left a mark that we can still see today. Thanks for joining us.